Good day, Internet. That's right. I mixed it up a little. I'm like that. Working from the home studio today to bring you this interview with Killian, which I know you have been waiting for. But before we get to that, Robert Killian, let's give a shout out to this episode's sponsor, Heart Fitness. Their gym is structured specifically for Spartan and the sport of OCR through the foundations of their OCR simulations, HIT classes, and OCR events throughout the year, including their 4th annual DOA event and qualifying series. Right now, the Flatliners team at Heart Fit is offering 25% off your first 5 or 10 class package with code ORM25. That's code ORM25. Thank you, Ryan. If you're watching this video having not known what happened this past weekend at the Dallas Stadion event, Robert Killian finished 4th in the Elite Wave, and then he decided to run the age group wave almost immediately after. He won that race. He made the podium. Insanity on the internet ensued, and I wanted to give him an opportunity to explain his thought process. So I brought him on. Away we go.
Yeah, I'm on my lunch break here in Virginia. We got a lot going on today, so I'm quite busy. But I care about you guys, and this is my lunch break, so I'm here for you, man.
Well, I appreciate it. I think that Josh and I talked about this a little bit already this morning, and I want to say that, of course, I posted it because it was a conversation people were having. People were messaging me. I was seeing it on posts on the Discord. I thought, okay, I'll just pose the question. But I did not expect the nastiness to come out, which I know the internet does that, but it got really bad, and I turned comments off, which I've never done, Robert, in 8 years. I've never even done that, but I had to because it was just got so bad. So I guess there's a couple of things. There's a couple of things that people are talking about. Some are important, some aren't. I guess, can we just start with, can you just take us through it, like from the moment you finished the race, from the moment you came in 4th in the Elite Wave? Do you want to kind of start from there?
Yeah, for sure. And I do want to take a step back and touch on, I don't know we took a year off from racing, and there's a lot of controversy that I've seen. I mean, I was here on January 6th when the Capitol got overrun, and I've seen being involved with the military and domestic operations and all the civil disturbances. That's something that we play a big part in. And it just blows my mind that something this small, I mean, at least on the scale of the things that I do on a day-to-day basis, would be so big to so many people, and the amount of hatred. It just blows my mind, man. Like, cause like you said, like being there on the course with, I mean, there were, I think about 2,000 people that ran this weekend, and I didn't feel that at all. Everyone was very supportive and everyone was very nice. And, you just get the normal people at OCR. And to me, it struck me odd that the community was, man, we just had such a crazy COVID, and then coming back to racing, I just can't believe that there's still people out there with some issues. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, like you said, the internet is its own animal, and people say stuff behind a keyboard that they might not say in person. And I don't know 100% what was said. I know that Josh just had seemingly an issue with me for years, because I don't know why. I never met that dude. I don't know what his background is or anything, but he tends to have a personal grudge against me. But it is what it is. So right after the race, I mean, typically, I mean, if you guys follow me, most people know me, or you follow the sport, it's not very uncommon for people to go out and do multiple laps. I think this particular event was like a perfect storm, right? So I went to registration. For one, I'm following the rules. You have to go out and have an official registration. In Europe, especially, you have to have a timing chip. They only let you go. And you have to pay money if you lose it, but that's like a safety requirement, right? They can check you along as you go on course. Not so much at a stadium because it's short, but just going through normal protocol, following the rules. And I just so happened to get up there, and I'm the very last age group. And the next open wave doesn't start for like a while, and I'm trying to catch a flight. So I'm like, I'll just hop in age group, no big deal. Didn't even think anything of it, I'm like, I knew I wanted to do another lap. I've always had another chip. If you go back and look at AT&T Stadium, I've done one with like all of like my friends or OEW. I'll go out and do multiple laps. So I just grabbed the chip and hopped in the starting line. It wasn't a big deal. I did want to compete hard. I didn't want to go out and race. Got a full-time job now. I'm not as able to do the training that I was able to do in Colorado. So like every Savage race that I've done this year, even in Jacksonville, I go out and do multiple laps. That's just how I train. My weekends are my threshold workouts. That's, in my opinion, the best way to get a really good workout in is just go out and do another lap. Of course, I did miss the spear. It was weighing on me. The only way to, get that in real time, recreate those conditions, is go out to race again. So that's really all it comes down to, man. I got in line, I got my chip, I got out, and I ran really hard. The guys actually at the front of the line were like very supportive, man. I saw like when I was there, like, oh, Junk, I'm going to step up my game. Like Killian's coming to race with us. I felt like wasn't a big deal at all. I mean, we only had in the entirety of all the age groupers at that race, 486. That's through all age groups. There's only 32 elite and over 2,000 people. So it wasn't, in my opinion, a big event. And I don't know what else to say, man. There's no stadium series. I mean, I didn't think I was taking anything from anybody. I think it's extremely odd that, let's say you want to make it to Tahoe or you want to make it to a Beast World Championship, that so many people are like, oh, you took this guy's spot away or something. I was like, it's a stadium sprint. Most sports, won't let you compete at a world championship distance if you qualified in another distance. But our sport is so young in its infancy. We're still developing. We're still trying to get to that level. Like I said, we only had 32 racers that were elite at the stadium. That's not really a lot. I don't know. I don't know where to go from there. We can hit the next question, I guess.
Well, for me, the question that's been brought up is, all those things are true, right? You're frustrated. You do need the race. You can't wait for the flight. All those things. You finish. Okay. Another option. Okay. Let's not say what's right or wrong. Let's just say an option is to go, all right, these guys aren't necessarily on my level. I'm sure they were thrilled to race with me. Like many people wrote that, including the guy that you beat. It was awesome to race with the world champion, but possible for you to go, you know what? Awesome. I'm going to go ahead and pull myself out though. Now that I finished, let these guys have their podium and I can just go on with my day. So what about that as an option?
Yeah, I mean, could be, but I mean, again, it's I wore the timing chip. I mean, I didn't really think about going over and talking to Coble and be like, hey man, just DQ me from the event. I don't know. I mean, I ran it. I think at the end of the day, I had already run an elite wave. I think the misconception, the way everyone's trying to spin it, especially the way you guys word it in your post, is like, Killian's going out and running a gauge group. He's not even running, this would never happen again in another race. And like I said, it can only happen in a stadium. Like this, the way the format is, where you have a time trial start, you're not doing a mass start, and there would be enough time. Like, most of the time they start 15 minutes behind us. So there's no way you could finish a whole race in 15 minutes and get back and even do age group. So like, this is literally the only, it couldn't happen again. So I don't, that's where I'm coming from. There's no discussion of like, the only other time I've ever done this was in West Virginia when I was doing the trifecta weekend. And the only option to run the sprint was age group. They didn't have an elite category and nobody made a big deal about it then, I guess. But again, I was running with age group.
Let me throw a hypothetical out. I'm not big on hypotheticals because they're hypothetical, but
right.
There was definitely a lot brought in about you, right, as a person.
Yeah.
And that seems to be like, well, but both sides. I love Robert. He's a veteran. Thanks for your service. Or I don't like Robert anyway. So let's just throw a hypothetical. What do you think would happen? This is my own thought. Lindsay and Nicole finish 1-2 at a race. And they go, hey, for funsies, let's go race again. And then they took first and second again. Do you think it would be met with the same thing? Or do you think people would look at them sideways going, well, why would they do that? That seems kind of weird. Like they're high-fiving and having a good time. Meanwhile, somebody's out there busting their ass and trying to earn a spot to Tahoe.
I don't know that it gets to that level that you're necessarily, again, taking a spot from someone in Tahoe. And let's just take a step back from that. There's OCR World Championships the same day. And I've seen a ton of people at OCR Worlds drop down from pro to run age group there, and no one says a thing. And that's a money race.
But you have to pick whatever you pick for the weekend. You can't go back and forth. So I think that's a good rule.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm not saying I'm going back and forth. I did it after my race. And like I said, I don't think the hypothetical is correct because Lindsay and then wouldn't be able to do that. Like I'm telling you, it's physically impossible. We're talking about something that could happen like 0.1% of the time. That's why it just blows my mind that this is such a big argument, because like I couldn't do it again if I wanted to. So like, what's the argument about, you know?
Well, I guess this is the part that once upon a time, anyone who could pay the $30 could run. However, because we do want to be a pro sport, it is a separate heat that you have to earn your way to, which is why,
Right.
in my mind, it justifies having age group. So in the old days, when they first did Masters, Hobie or Novakovic could win the day and win Masters, which I thought was silly. Like, you already won the race. Why do you need to
Yeah.
win the 40 plus? But
That's
now that
just
it's a
way
gated
that's
event, to me, that's the difference. It specifically is gated for
yeah.
that reason.
Well, I think that's just like other sports, though. You know, they're just trying to follow along. Spartan Race's biggest competitor is marathon. It's like road racing, and you get done with the marathon. If you're fourth place, you're the top age group finisher. Or
Right,
triathlon.
right.
If you're fourth place, you're first in your age group. That's just how it is. There is no like, oh, you know, like different categories, or that's just how they run age group mass start. So I think, again, it just, I don't know like how the sport wants to progress. But again, we're talking about 32 elite racers that were at the race. I think there's a big gap in our sport for the progression. We don't have enough elite racers in the elite field. So like, I don't see why those guys, I don't think they want to move up, to be honest. There's guys who race age group, take that spot. Let's say they finish fifth in their age group, like at a sprint at a stadium, you're telling me they're going to go to Tahoe and qualify and do what? Like, I don't see like why that's a big deal. It's a complete, I think we should have, so that would be, if there's a stadium series and we were actually going to have a stadium world championship, which we were progressing to, then absolutely I would be like, no way, man. But I'm not really impacting it. We're talking about a piece of metal that's probably made in China here, man.
Okay, but this is very important
It's
what you just
like,
said. If there was a series, are you saying you would have approached Coble and said, you know what, take me out because I don't want to affect the
absolutely,
standings?
man. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not going to affect anyone's standings. I'm not, yeah, but there's no stadium series. There's not even a pro team. I was really kind of like thrown off by what David Watson said. A lot of his assumptions. He was like, you know, I don't have the post right in front of me, but he was like, you know, a pro, you know, wouldn't want to go out and compete against someone that's lesser than his, you know, like ability. But I'm running a race after. I did, like, again, like everyone's trying to paint it out like I'm going to go run age group. I didn't do that. I ran elite, and then I came back and ran, you know, a second lap because it's a training opportunity for me. I'm working a
He
full-time
wrote,
job. I want to go out and compete competitively. I want to have standards. I've done stadium races in open, and you're sitting there like behind obstacles forever. Like I can't even get a good pace going. So like the only opportunity for me was to go out, you know, like very soon is before, you know, there's a little bit of backup, and just knock out that really, you know, that really good
right.
workout. And
His actual
again,
quote.
it's like that was his other point. Most pros go practice off course, and I'm like, I don't have an OCR playground in my backyard anymore. You know, I'm full time military, and that is the way I've been racing or training for my big races. Every Savage race I've done, every Spartan that I've done, I do multiple laps, man. That's just, I'm the guy who goes out and runs the extra mile. You're always like, put in the harder work, you know, do more than the other guy, and I do that, and it's like it's still not enough. Like, I
Well,
don't know.
for me, my question to you is not necessarily what he said, but that in general, he's basically throwing you under the bus when you've been a pretty good ambassador for the Spartan brand for a long time. That to me was
Oh,
a little.
100%. Dude,
That's
he
what I
has
was
a problem with
asking.
me because I speak my mind. I don't have anything to lose anymore. And I'm trying to honestly just stand up for other guys on the pro team that aren't going to have the opportunity. Look at like Sean Roberts, like coming up, VJ. Like, why aren't we talking about what VJ did? He's undefeated this season. He is just crushing it. Spartan didn't want to have anything to do with him on the pro team. Like, for the first time, Vic got a stadium podium this weekend. No one talked about that. And like, there's just a lot of other topics, you know, even, you know, Kent coming back. He's undefeated in the stadium. I mean, there's just so many wows this weekend in OCR, and I just hate to see that we got stuck on me running 2 laps. It's just, it's so insignificant to me, but there's all these other amazing things that are going on. Yeah, and David Watson, dude, he is honestly the single point of failure of better communication. Taking advice from the pros to make the sport better. That dude hasn't done a single Spartan race. He hasn't earned my respect. He's got no say in the matter. You know what I mean? Like, I respect Michael Morrison. I respect, Garfield, Steve, all those guys, Tommy Mack that used to be out there, the ones who are out there making the events happen. Like, they know what's going on. They know the actual rules. And they know that you have to get another chip. You have to register. That's a liability. That's a safety concern. He wouldn't know that. He lived in Singapore. He's not involved as much. Nothing against him, but that's just, it is what it is, man. If he wants to call me, I've given him the opportunity. He knows my number. He doesn't reply to my emails. And not to get on a tangent, we're getting way offline here, but I don't know what's up with David Watson. He is just, in my opinion, you can talk to any other pros. He is the reason that we haven't had as much progression in the elite field, in the pro field. And it's going back to the basic easy steps that he could take to make that better and have, it working. Like, there was a really good system in place that's just completely gone. There's not a big partnership at all going on. I mean, he even came on here and promised you there'd be like this, process in May that there'd be a pro team selection. Here we are almost in July. Nobody's heard anything. So, I mean, I think that would be a good point to start there instead of, getting hung up on people doing multiple laps after a year off. Man, I miss racing. Yeah, I want to go. I start ILE. So I start this college course for the military, 7 July all the way through the end of October. I don't even know if I can race it that much this year anymore, honestly. So, like, all that's going through my head, I'm going to do as many laps as I can and race as much as I can because that's what I want to do. And if it prepares me to get better, like I am looking like I can race Utah. So that's why I'm double upping on a lot of these events to try to get ready for that one race. I can't make West Virginia anymore. We have a military event out in Arkansas. So that pretty much eliminates me from the series. So yeah, I just got other goals, other focuses this year. I mean, it is what it is.
What about Asheville?
Yeah, Asheville will be a family trip. I'm hoping. Like, that's the thing. Like, I haven't started this course. I don't know what my schedule is going to be like. I've heard from Mark Gaudette's in it right now as well. He's a military member and he's a racer. And he says it's been heavy on his schedule. He's been having to do a lot of reading, a lot of reports on the weekend, etc. Sitting behind Blackboard online a lot because we're still in a virtual environment in the military and trying to overcome that. So that's why I haven't published a schedule, man. Like, I have no idea, honestly. Like, I'm just, like I said, if I go to an event and I can race, I'm doing multiple laps, like it or not. Like, I want to get as much racing in as I can. And I've done it literally at Savage. I've done it every event I've been to this year. I don't think it's abnormal.
So you won't be at High Rocks this Friday, Saturday, Chicago?
No, dude, I don't even know why you guys are going to Chicago. There's 21 shootings this past weekend in Chicago. Dude, I would be like that's like the big level world stuff, right? We're talking about this little tiny, like, insignificant stuff. Like, there's a big problem going on in Chicago. There's like a Puerto Rican celebration, and like, it wasn't like there was like gang violence or something. They were just out there just shooting people because it was a massive, amount of people. So, like, looking at High Rocks, I'm like, man, I don't know if I'd even feel safe to go to Chicago right now. I'm being straight up honest, man.
Well, I appreciate your honesty.
Having my concealed carry. So, but have fun out there, dude.
Thanks for bumming us out at the end of the.
I'm not bumming you out, man. It's reality, dude. People want to get, all bent out of shape about a podium, but man, that's like real stuff. Like, look at the videos. People were like shot, like at gun, like on point. Just like, for what? Like, you could have been in the Uber across from that, dude. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, if you want to take that risk, man, rock on. That's why I conceal carry and I do it legally. So.
All right. Well, now we are getting far above my pay grade, as they say.
Well, you asked about Chicago. I'm not going to a High Rock, so
it's okay.
But I will watch it online, and I think it'll be a really good, obviously a good race between Magida and Hunter. I've actually thoroughly enjoyed your guys' coverage of Savage races and other events that I haven't been able to go to this year. I think it's been awesome, as a follower of the sport. I mean, obviously I love it. I do it. I did it professionally for 5 years, but I think people also have to understand I'm in a transition period, full-time military, and I'm trying to change my focus on a little bit more being there for my kids support my family. It's hard to move from Colorado to a new environment and get back into a normal pattern of life, I guess. But yeah, we're making it happen, man. Just one day at a time. I don't think it's all like rainbows and butterflies. Everyone thinks I got it all good, but just a normal guy like everyone else.
Did you have a good Dad's Day?
I did. Yeah, we went fishing, hung out, got a little nap in. We filled up a little pool outside, so I got my little ice bath in. Water's still pretty cold here, so yeah, we had a good day. Got some cool little coupon book for my daughter, so I can cash in for like a car wash or doing the dishes or something. Like an hour of silence. I like laughed at that one because I was like, you might as well just throw that one in the trash. Because
So she gave you that as an option?
Yeah, I was like, I don't know how the teachers or whoever put that in the book, but I was like, man, I don't know if that's gonna happen. I don't think my daughter, any kid at 5 or 7, could be quiet for an hour. If you're a parent, you'd be like,
how about 4 minutes? How about 4 minutes?
Yeah, exactly. That would be a stretch. If you're watching a movie, I would say if you got the right movie on, you can probably get a good 20 or 30 in, man. Yeah, they'll be pretty silent before they realize that you're not around or something. They need some water or some food or whatever it is. So
all right, well, listen, thanks for hopping on short notice, and have a good rest of the day.
Yeah, you too, man. And yeah, if you got anything else, just let me know. But yeah, it's got to get better than this, man. We got to progress the sport and stop the negativity and just find a better way to move forward.
All right, I concur. Have a great day, sir. All righty, that is going to do it. Thank you so much for watching. I want to give a shout out to our newest Patreon members. Rob pledged for the year. Chris Holverson pledged for the year. And James S. bumped his up for the month. Thank you so, so much, Patreon members. I appreciate you more than you know. Stay tuned here. Go ahead and hit that subscribe thing, and then you'll get the videos when they come out. That'll be awesome. Love you. Miss you. Mean it. I've got to run.